Harrington is the author of The 12th Planet and The Stairway to Heaven. He believes that the writings of ancient Sumerians, which tell a story of prehistoric catastrophe, may in fact foretell our future.
Fortunately, the Sumerians have left us not only very detailed writings which speak for themselves, but also pictorial evidence. This seal is very interesting. It actually depicts the whole solar system with the sun in the center, not the Earth, showing all the planets that are known to us today, plus one more between Mars and Jupiter, of which we are not aware. The planet which I call the 12th planet and which the ancient peoples called Marduk was caught in sun orbit into our solar system by having come out from outer space, was pulled in by the gravity force of all the other planets into the solar system and collided with another ancient member of the solar system called Tiamat. In the collision, Tiamat was split in two. One half of it became the asteroid belt and the comets. The other half, which was pushed into a new orbit, became the planet on which we live, planet Earth. Marduk itself, which was now caught into solar orbit, has adopted a very large, long elliptical orbit, almost comet-like, which brings it once every 3,600 years between Mars and Jupiter.
Is this possible? Could there be another planet in our system that approaches Earth every 3,600 years?
This basic tenet in my writings, which was central to the beliefs of the ancient peoples, that there is indeed one more planet in our solar system, has been in the past 2 years or so accepted in a way by astronomers, especially those at the U.S. Naval Observatory in Washington, who have concluded that there is indeed one large planet beyond Pluto.
Dr. Robert Harrington of the U.S. Naval Observatory does confirm the recent appearance of another planet orbiting beyond Pluto. This planet is believed to be 3 to 5 times larger than Earth.
Given then that such a planet indeed exists and that it may come and cause havoc in the future, it's very interesting to read the Sumerian evidence of what happened on one of those previous passages when the deluge took place on Earth. The first effects were a very strong wind and a darkened sky. The nearing of that planet and its gravitational pull have shifted the ice cap of Antarctica off the landmass of Antarctica, creating the huge tidal wave that has engulfed our globe and that has remained in human memory as the deluge or the great flood of the Bible, of Noah, and of the Sumerian tales.
Could Sumerian mythology be our history? Has our Earth actually been the victim of past global catastrophe? Would we be prepared to face an ultimate disaster? Dr. Jeffrey Goodman.
There are a lot of contingencies and ramifications that could take place should these types of events start to occur. And really, it doesn't need the whole place getting shaken up or torn up. 1 or 2 earthquakes will do just fine. I think this country stood and watched in amazement when we saw the earthquake that hit Italy.
November 23rd, 1980. An earthquake measuring 7.2 on the Richter scale devastated an area of south-central Italy, killing 3,000 people.
And we watched it on our news broadcast, and we were very sympathetic and empathetic, and we sent aid, and we said, boy, these poor people, they weren't ready to cope with this. The Japanese have admitted that they're in a great earthquake threat, and in the Tokyo area and along that coastline from outside of Tokyo, they already have named the big quake. They call it the Tokai quake. and they expect it to come soon, and they're talking about tremendous loss of life, 250,000 homes being lost, tremendous destruction from fire, tremendous loss from the resultant tidal wave that would come with the event, and they're making very, very definite preparations. They've put up enough food and water to supply Tokyo for 10 days. They're spending a tremendous amount of money on preparedness. And similarly, now here in this country, we have various groups that have been putting out newsletters, monitoring all the information, and getting together to move to certain areas, or within the area they are, become better prepared for the possibility of an event.
One purpose of the STEL group is to develop a new self-sufficient culture that would survive following a catastrophe. Tim Wilhelm.
One of the ways we see of doing that is developing as many capabilities right here within the community as we can. For example, we have our own water treatment plant, which is a reverse osmosis system, the kind used for desalinating seawater. We also are working under a grant from the U.S. Department of Energy, developing a community-sized fuel alcohol plant. Obviously, a task of this nature is incredible in scope and a very ambitious undertaking, to say the least. And we've looked at alternatives like building concrete bunkers and going underground for a while. We've also looked at the alternative of lifting above the surface of the earth in some sort of an aircraft or hovercraft or hovering aircraft, whatever you choose to call it. And we don't know what it is yet. We're just looking at that as the possible alternative.
Technological advancement in the last 100 years is remarkable. We have developed machinery to aid us in our physical labor, computers to augment our minds. There have been incredible advances in communication and medicine. We've landed on the moon, on Mars, and on Venus. We're sailing into the far reaches of our solar system. Modern technology has carried us into an era of wonders. Tomorrow holds endless promise, yet it is clouded by a threat. Some scientists feel that we may face cataclysmic events in our lifetime. Given that possibility, there are those who believe that some of our technological resources must be applied toward mankind's survival of the ultimate disaster.
A catastrophe on Earth limited or due to our own position in the heavens and the fact that another planet comes periodically. Is there something in the solar system, perhaps in the whole universe, that keeps repeating itself? That a civilization arises, life can become possible, evolve on a planet, a stage arises, there's a very high civilization, but it brought its own ruin, perhaps, on itself, and then somebody gets into spaceships and goes to another planet and starts it all over again. In other words, is the past the future?